Good afternoon, Manchester City fans. Happy Sunday and happy Derby Day. And it is a very Manchester welcome to the boys in blue as they make their way off the coach for this tantalising Derby Day fixture as we welcome our rivals Manchester United to the Etihad. And we welcome that man there. Brand new signing, last signing of the transfer window. Donnarumma arriving at the Etihad for the first time, and I can reveal exclusively here on Matchday Live, it is a start for the Italian. He goes straight in to the team and starts in between the sticks. And I'll be bringing you the rest of the team news in just a moment. But before that, let me bring you into the studio where sitting alongside me today, always an absolute treat to welcome onto Matchday Live legends in the form of Shaun Wright-Phillips and Mr. Paul Dickov. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Shaun, some very smart attire here. Have you scrubbed up for the Derby Day, or what are we thinking?
What are you trying to say about all the rest of the times I'm on the show?
Well, you know...
Just took the words out of my mouth, actually.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know what I mean?
Well, no, I didn't know if as well as this basking in the Postmasters win. If you haven't seen, there was a Legends tournament that took place, Shaun, last week. Friday it was. And do you want to talk us through this against United as well?
I'll see it.
Whoa, rolling back the ears, Shaun.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go rolling back.
I mean, I would say it looks very familiar, that goal, Shaun. I feel like I've seen this before. Does it bring back any memories?
Yeah.
Any memories, Shaun?
Yeah and no.
Yes, sit a bit.
Kind of when I see that, yeah. There's a little bit of a similarity there. I don't know, but I'm right-footed in it, so the chances of me trying to do that on my left, that's my swinger.
Of course.
So I just.
But even like with the skill and stuff, it kind of made me think there are these innate movements in you that are just you've done so many times. It's almost muscle memory.
Yeah, you could go that far as muscle memory, but like growing up and coming through the City ranks with like Paul, Goats, half a yard, they said make the space, and that was in terms of putting the ball in the box. And I kind of use that same philosophy if I was going to shoot. You don't need to take too many touches. You don't need to always do a step over. Sometimes you can just drop your shoulder and it gives you that split second you need to shoot. And normally, if it is a split second, the player normally puts his leg out, don't you? So normally you shoot back, cross through his leg.
Yeah.
So.
It's so funny though, when that clip did go out, most Manchester City fans went very reminiscent of that Derby Day goal. And I feel, Paul, can we actually see it side by side, gallery? Let's have a little look here. It's fascinating this. Here we go. This is what we've been waiting for. And roll it. Oh, hang on. The gallery's let me down. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Here it is.
Little touch.
Fake it. And the finish. It is the cutting.
Who was the fullback? Who was the defender? He's got a caravan in his back.
Yeah. Now the skill and the finish was, quite similar. Not so similar now, I'd say.
Yeah, because it's one of those, I've done it before, innit? So there's no need to get all chappy about it again.
But you did go on to win the tournament. Who was in the team as well for the Masters? Was you, Jolien?
Nader Manua.
Yeah.
David James.
Yeah.
Kevin Arlock.
Ishmael Miller.
Petrov.
Yes.
And Ishmael Miller.
Wow, great
And
win.
Michael Brown was there as well.
And we'll just throw him in at the end there.
No, he's
doing all right?
Me and him roll on, roll off subs. So, yeah. It's perfect.
Literally roll on.
Yeah. Paul, I did want to ask, and I don't know, I try and hold on to all sorts of things when we build up to a derby. I felt that's a very good omen for today. How are we feeling about the derby today?
You know what I'm like, Kel.
I know, that's what I need, Paul.
Yep, always confident. Obviously, we'll see the team in a minute. I think the team we've got out is really, really strong. I still think we're levels above United, regardless of what people may say at the start of the season and everything else. I think midfield's going to be huge for us today, but going back to it, I think we're going to win 3-1, maybe 4-1.
Wow, getting the predictions in early as well, Paul, love that. Just a quick moment on Shaun Wright-Phillips putting you in his Mount Rushmore of Manchester City players and managers.
I know, I had to message him about it.
He slid in my DMs.
I actually felt I was quite moved when I saw that.
I was as well, I was touched.
Yeah, no, because it was the meaning behind it. Like, there was so many other players, including myself, who I wanted to put in it, to be honest with you. But, I think the players I picked was all at a certain time. of Man City to where they are now, and that's kind of the way I went.
Nice, well there we are.
I wasn't too sure about the picture that they put up of me though.
No, I wasn't either. And do you know what, Gallery? Let's see if we can get that, and we'll show you that in a little bit, because I wanted to message you on that and wrap me up. Anyway, let's get into this team. Here's who Pep has chosen to face our Manchester rivals. Here it is, your starting 11. Big name, Donnarumma starts in goal for his full Manchester City debut. Kusanov back into the team. There was a little bit of worry because they did say he picked up a knock, but he is fit enough to start. Diaz and Gvardiol, brilliant centre-half partnership there. As we know, Stone's not on the bench. Did pick up a knock on that international break. Young Nico O'Reilly comes in at left-back. Huge game for him. Moving into midfield, how great is it to see that man there? Ballon d'Or holder Rodri in the starting 11 alongside Captain Bernardo, Reinders, and then we have Phil Foden back into the starting 11. I have to say, delighted to see him on the team sheet. I'll be getting into that in just a second. Doku over on the left-hand side, and the big man up front, Erling Haaland. Quick look at the bench. James Trafford, of course, Nathan Ake, Nico Gonzalez. We've got Savinho, Nunes, Oscar Bob. Huge for Divine Newcastle. Looks really good in that Palermo game in pre-season. Had a great time with the academy as well last season, alongside Rico Lewis as well. Lewis, who did sign that brand new contract as well. 5-year contract for young Rico Lewis. Congratulations to that man. Shaun, I mean, we could begin all over the pitch. I do want to begin with seeing one of our very own back in the team, Phil Foden. Could be a game changer today.
I think it is a game changer. I think, especially if he plays in that number 10 role. I think we saw him in there when Kevin was injured a couple years back, and he showed what he's capable of doing in there. And I think we need him in terms of when that ball does break the lines, he always takes it on the half turn. And then once he takes it, like, that's the whole midfield out of the picture. So I'm hoping he picks up a lot of those positions and spaces today, because I think the wingers and people like Haaland will really benefit from it.
I think it's been spoken about quite openly, both from Phil himself and Pep. Not the season that he wanted last season, obviously off the back of the season before where he was Player of the Year. Pep's actually spoke about in his pre-match conference before today's game about how he's motivated to get back to where he wants to get to. Have you ever experienced that or seen that with players where obviously as well been unlucky with injuries, lost his form a little bit, to then try and get it back? Have you experienced that, and how do you go about doing that? Because there's always a lot of talk from outside the team and fans about where Phil's at.
Yeah, the experience it as a player and as a manager, you know, with the players that you've got. And the one thing you've got to do, and in Phil's case, a lot of it is this niggling ankle injury that he's had, you know, and to get Phil at his best, he needs to be fully fit. You need to know yourself, Shaun, that you're fully fit and firing when you're going out there. You know, actually seen Phil in the summer, he was doing a bit of training after the Club World Cup. Right. And he looked great. Physically, he looked great. Mentally, he said he was in a really, really good place. He just wants to get a run of games now. And there's no better game to come back into than this. His record against United has been outstanding. Superb. Scoring a lot of goals. He got a hat-trick here a couple of years ago. So what a game for him to come back into. And you know, I think for City to do well, especially now with Kevin gone, I think we need Phil to be back at his best again and to kick on. So I still think there's different levels to come. People don't appreciate or realise how young he is because he's been around for so long. He's still got the best years ahead of him.
And also I think Pep even pointed out as well how influential he is on this team is a big part of why, you know, granted injuries and all the reasons we know why we might have struggled, but Pep attributes a big part of that was not having Foden at his best. You lose so much creativity because of how good he is.
You do, and he can play in so many different positions. You know, he can play off the right, he can play off the left, he can play in the middle, where I think everybody agrees is probably his best position. It'll be interesting to see where he starts today, because you know, will Bernardo be the one in the middle with Reinders and Rodri, or will Phil go in there and Bernardo comes wide, which you
I tend to think he's going to play start Phil in a 10.
I agree.
It's weird when you watch Bernardo play. He almost plays football like he doesn't have a position on the pitch. Yeah. He will just get the ball from anywhere, and he will be anywhere he needs to be to either stop an attack or to create an attack. So I honestly believe he might be the person that starts wide right.
I guess as well, when we've seen Cherky start, I think there was a game where he actually had Cherky in that 10. He had Reinders and Nico and Bernardo again outright. So you'd maybe think if Phil's filling that gap, That's why.
Yeah, as I said, I would definitely put him in there. He got Player of the Year pretty much playing in that position.
And also can't forget the link up with Haaland. We know that there is a very special bond and relationship, particularly those ones on the pitch that can generate goals and assists for each other, Paul.
There is, and they've got that connection, you know, and Erling's movement, as we know, is fantastic. You know, even outside the box, but in the box when Phil comes in his left-hand side and whips it in. But regardless of whether it's Bernardo, and I agree with Shaun, or Phil, I think we might see both of them in there at the same point. You know, United, we all know that they're going to play 3-4-3. It leaves their two midfielders exposed so much, whether it's Casemiro or Ugarte or Fernandes dropping back in there. Teams get a lot of joy. So we've already got the three in there, regardless of what the personnel is. And I think if it's Bernardo or Phil tucking in there, we could have 4v2 sometimes in the middle of the park, which is going to cause them a lot of problems.
Trying to cause problems is something maybe we didn't quite do against Tottenham and Brighton in our last two games, struggled to create those chances. Is Phil the spark that could maybe bring about creating them again?
I think so. He's world class.
Yeah.
He's a world class player.
Yeah.
And he's showed time and time again how good he is. And in big games as well. He always produces, he always steps up to the plate, whether it be goals, whether it be assists. And today, if there's a bit of a lull in the game, he's the one that can give you that little spark and can get the crowd going.
You know what
and
I
can
like
create
about
chances.
him is he will take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Absolutely.
He will be the one that we're all crying for. Like when there's a low block, you need that person to shoot.
Yeah.
Feels that person that if you give him a half a yard, he won't think twice about it. He lets fly. And I think you need that in games like this.
Yeah.
He's the best in the world at getting the ball in the half turn, whether that be out wide or whether that be finding space in between the centre halves and their midfielders. He's just so natural for him. How many times we've seen him half turn, gets out his feet and he sticks it in the top corner.
And also, his first touch, arguably, is probably one of the best in the team. He's got an impeccable first touch.
It's ridiculous.
It's a joke. Now, let's get into the big old talking point, because, of course, a really coy and sly sign at the end of the transfer window. I think it took a lot of the footballing world by surprise to go and sign who is dubbed as the world's best keeper in football, Donnarumma. Obviously signed from PSG. He's just come off the back of winning the Champions League. Starts today, Shaun. First of all, what do you make of the signing? Because obviously there's a lot of conversation around this signing. For me, I think this could turn out to be one of the best bits of business. One, not only for this transfer window, but for the seasons to come.
It's just interesting all around, because if Ederson doesn't leave, this still most probably doesn't happen.
Agreed.
I think it's done in replacement of that. But to be able to get their hands on him for the price that they did, when he arguably won the Champions League for PSG, because there was games that I saw him play,
particularly the semi-final and the final. Yeah,
like he saved everything that in many ways you would say, how the hell did he get there? He should never have made it, but he made that happen. And to have a goalkeeper like that in your squad and behind the defence, it gives you that belief. People won't necessarily take those risks when players go clean through. They trust in your goalkeeper.
Yes.
Believe he can pull off this save. He is the man that can do that. So yeah, I am a bit gutted for James. I ain't gonna sit here and deny that.
Yeah.
But he is competing now against probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
But for James to have the chance to, train alongside one of the world's best keeper. I know, granted, obviously he was wanting to fight for his place, but
we don't think like that when footballers. We don't you especially if you've come in dubbed in many ways to be like. No one said he was number one, but that was the outside perspective of it. It would have been like a bit of a dagger in the heart. Of course, you want to learn, but when you're in the goal, he's had a taste now.
Yes.
So now to pull him out, it's going to be like he's going to be chomping at the bit for more. So I hope he does get a bit more game time.
There's obviously, and I find this a little bit frustrating, there's a lot of talk about how this isn't a Pep signing or a Pep keeper. And Pep, actually, I was reading, when Bravo was on the way out, his first choice back then was Donnarumma. He's always wanted him. And there's a lot of conversation around that. Can he play out with his feet? Well, if you watch him earlier on in his AC Milan career, can play with his feet. He's no Ederson, but who is? That is he a Pep fit? He clearly is. And also, I think people forget his job is to stop the ball from going in the back of the net, and he's the best at that.
He is, and look, if he's not a Pep player, he's not going to be here.
Agreed.
Full stop.
Agreed.
That nonsense that people are writing about it. I think, first of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to Ederson as well.
Yes.
It's a real difficult one talking about it. It's like choosing between your favourite kids, because I love Donnarumma as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And people talking about how good Ederson was, and how sad it is he's leaving. But it's football, isn't it? You've got to come in.
Sorry, who is your favourite kid?
Yeah. And this the stuff that he can't play with his feet as well is beyond me. You know, like you said there, Kel, we're never going to get an Ederson. No. He was the best in the world at doing it and will be for the next few years. But what Donnarumma does, he wins titles.
Yes.
He wins championships. He's a serial winner with Italy, the Euros, Champions League. As I said, semi-final and final, he was outstanding. And all the teams that are successful, you can go back to your Schmeichels, you can go back to David Seamans and all these top goalkeepers that at times won their clubs. They make big saves, big games at big times, and that's the one thing he does. I think it's an unbelievable signing, and he's only 26 years old.
Well, this is the other point I wanted to ask you on this. Is I was reading, obviously, I don't know if most will know, but if they don't, he made his debut for AC Milan at 16. He's been playing Champions League football for 9-10 years. He's obviously won titles that he's won. Current, as we say, won the Champions League. We know we've lost the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, who have that wealth of experience, leaders in the changing room. That also behind the scenes is probably pretty huge for the dressing room as well, to bring someone in of his calibre with his game experience for the squad. Yeah,
100%. You would like to believe that, but I think what Pep created here is, in many ways, he made a team of winners into that mentality. So I don't think necessarily he will have an influence in a different way, not necessarily the winning, because I think Pep and his coaches instill that anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is more positive about this team. Like, of course, you have setbacks, you have a bad run in form, but if all your coaching staff and your team still have that winning mentality, at some point you will get out of it, and at some point you will kick on, and at some point those running games will come together.
And you can't underestimate, Paul, how difficult is it for a keeper of 16 years old to be starting for AC Milan in the Serie A and the Champions League?
I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again, and when was the last time it was done? So it shows you from a young age, one, how mature he is in football in terms, but two, to a club like AC Milan, we're not talking like a Serie B or Serie C team, it's the best team in Italy at the time, to have the confidence to put a 16-year-old in. He's just went on and get better and better, and you know, goalkeepers probably don't hit their peak till they're 30, 32, 33. And you think he's 26 and won what he's won, and I think it'll give the team a lot of confidence as well.
I was thinking that.
You know, I'm not going to steal your thunder, Kel, but you said off air, having Rodri back and in front, it must give the centre-halves a lot of confidence, knowing that they've got somebody like Donnarumma behind them and Rodri in front of them as well.
Speaking of the defence, it's a little bit makeshift. Obviously, we know Aït-Nouri we've signed as left-back. Sadly picked up a knock. I think he's going to be out for around 5 weeks. Can't wait to see Nico O'Reilly in there. But then you've got the likes of Kusanov, Diaz and Gvardiol, who Cheeky actually said about Gvardiol in his farewell video that he will be one of the world's best left central defenders. Kusanov at right-back as well. Suddenly feels like a very solid defence, Shaun.
It's a very good defence, especially you have a think when you see Nico O'Reilly's name in there, but the way he played when he first got put into left back, you would thought he was, like, obviously made the odd mistake, but you would think he was a natural left back the way he kind of played it. He played it the City way, came in. I think it helped because he's a midfielder, because he naturally tucked into that midfield area and he naturally went forward. But I think he's positive. But to have Kusanov as right back, I think that's a wicked decision to make for me. And the pace now, we're starting to see, like, because Josko's quick.
Yeah.
And so is Kush. So now we're getting more pace in that back line. Before, I think it was just Walker who was the quickest that had to make all those recovery runs. But now we've got two of them that can do it.
I think for sure. 9 times out of 10 today, I think we'll see it being a back three, with Nico either pushing on or pushing into midfield.
Agreed.
And then obviously you've got the three centre-halves in there anyway. But I love Kusanov. I've said it since he first came in. He's rapid, you know, and people are talking about, is he a right back, is he not? Saying he'll play centre-half more often than not. But the game in Madrid, when he was up against Vinny Jr. Vinny Jr. tried to run him once or twice, and them was like, nah, I'm not having that, mate. He's too quick for me.
I like his mentality. He's quite old school. His style of defending. He just wants to defend
strong.
and tackle.
He's deceptively strong.
I said to someone the other day, he's got elements of the way he plays defensively, like running back. He reminds me a little bit of Richard Dunn.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's got elements of Dunny from him.
I like that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, I'm not advocating it, but he doesn't mind going and smashing a few people.
No, you need a bit of that.
Yeah.
I tell you another man,
especially on a derby day.
And I tell you one man who also didn't mind going and smash a few people, bar you, Mr. Paul Dickov, was Mr. Andy Morrison, and he is pitch side with FG. Gentlemen, good afternoon. It stopped raining for a little moment. FG, first of all, how are you feeling? And Andy Morrison, were we a big fan of smashing people on Derby Day?
Well, listen, first things first, Kel. What a lineup in the studio. Kel, Paul, Shaun Wright-Phillips.
Yeah, it's not great height there if we've got defending set plays, but big hearts, massive hearts.
Yeah, massive hearts indeed. Look, from a fan's perspective, of course, I'm nervous. It's Derby Day, but I've got this man next to us, and like Kel just asked you, right, in the studio, I mean, you had a few brawls on Derby, a few smashes, big tackles.
Well, no. It's I'm trying to stay away from cliches all I can today because this is about getting a result, isn't it? It's just get a result today. Find a way, however that comes is irrelevant, but we've got to get over the line.
Now, speaking of getting a result, our guys in the studio, Kel, I hope you've touched on this a million times already, but Masters football against Manchester United as well along the way. They went on to win it. Got a bit of a question. We've got a bit of a bone to pick with you guys in the studio, actually. Andy, do you want to take it away and ask the question to Shaun?
Well, I actually saw the team on Twitter, but I couldn't make out the names. And I was thinking, do you know what? If we play a deep block in one of them games, I might be able to play a part in it. And then I couldn't see the names, so I was trying to find my glasses. And I remember my glasses were upstairs. My knees were too sore to go up the stairs to get my glasses. So I thought, nah, that says everything. I'll let these younger boys play.
No, very, very well done to them. We can't. I think I've lost him in my ears. I can't quite hear him. So what we'll do is we'll just talk about, like you said, the result today is so important. It's a massive game, but for more reasons than it just being against our local rivals, we're in a bit of a position where we need a winner.
Yeah, we need a win, but I think Derby Day, I think it's just everything was out the window. This is just, as I've said, find a way to win, however that is, however ugly it is, get over the line and then worry about it afterwards. And, because I don't think you could ever look at tables. I don't think it's irrelevant to fans when it comes to the importance of this, especially in Manchester Derby. And, they'll take the win any way they want without worrying about where league positions need a win. Let's just beat these today.
And as a way to start your Manchester City career, Donnarumma making his debut in a Manchester derby at the Etihad. He's a man who has done a lot in his career. How do you think he'll be feeling?
I think naturally, I think you're nervous anyway because it's a human instinct. You want to make the right impression. You want to start right. You want a clean sheet. You want to, warm himself to the fans immediately, probably want to pull off a couple of early saves, just safe ones, feel his way into the game. But as you've just said, wow. The save he made against Odegaard last year, it's in the top 5 saves of all time for me. And I, when I saw it, I've seen it back, it was incredible. So he has the ability to do things that are out of the normal when it comes to stopping the ball going in the net.
And looking at the back four as well, Josko Vardiol, so great to see him back. He's been one of our best players since he signed. Kushinov starts as well. We saw really, really good positive signs from him at Brighton, and then, of course, he went off injured. It's great to see him back fit.
Yeah, it is, and it's explosive pace. You're talking about exceptional athletes, and he is. And we remember Kyle and his pomp when you knew one-on-one situations, you left it. You're not worried on the halfway line, and I feel the same with him. And obviously his recovery runs as well, because that's where they'll be at their most dangerous today. Is on the counter transition, turnover of play. You just need the pace coming back, and he's as quick as anything I've seen in a long time.
Are we going to see Phil Foden potentially in the number 10 today?
Yeah, we're trying to work that one out, FG, at the minute. I think it's going to be an overload in midfield. I'm trying to think who's playing off that right. I say Doku coming off the left and, obviously Haaland through the middle. But I think we'll have a numerical overload in midfield, which will allow us to dominate the ball for long, long periods of the game with maybe 4v3 in there, even 5v4 at times. I think that's the way it'll go.
Yeah, massive game for Phil, of course. He's a Manchester City fan. He's really, really... up for games like this. But you've played in a fair few Manchester derbies. What's your best memory?
Well, listen, I didn't get to play in a derby, so I'm very, very unfortunate. I played in every club I was at. I played in a derby, but not the Manchester derby. And I've been at them, been in the squad. Injured, but it's a massive game, and it's it's a it brings a different dimension of when nerves become involved in it, because you've got that rivalry, and you don't want to be a person that makes some mistakes. But these players, on both teams are internationals at the highest level. They played in these games so many times at international level as well as domestically, so you wouldn't think it would faze them, but it does. It does. It's such an important game.
It is indeed such an important game, Kel. I hope you're feeling better than I am, because I'm slightly nervous, and Kel will be a wreck. I mean, you're confident, though, as always, right?
I'm always confident.
Yeah, and that's why it's so grateful to have this man stood next to me. Back to you guys over in the studio. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much to FG and Andy Morrison there. And thank you. Just a nice little glimpse of my guests there who were with me in the studio. Looking as handsome as ever, Mr. Paul Dickov and Shaun Wright-Phillips. Let's turn our attention to today's opponents. They are, of course, our neighbours here in Manchester. Harry Maguire there, giving a signing to a young fan. He does not start. Let me bring you this team. Then we've got Bayinda in net. Then we have Yoro Delit, Luke Shaw, Mazraoui, Ugarte, Fernandez, Dorgu, and Buemo, of course. He's had a great start to his Manchester United career, already bagged a couple of goals. Amad Diallo and Sesko, of course, their new signing as well. Big signing for them in the summer, comes in as their striker. Of course, they did also sign a goalkeeper who doesn't start. He is on the bench. Before we come to us in the studio, Paul, what is your first impression just looking at that starting 11?
I think, look, we know how they're going to set up. He's quite stubborn in the system that he wants to play. With back three of Yoro, Delit and Shaw. Mazraoui will be wing back, Dorgu the other side. I just think they cause themselves problems in the middle of the park with just having the two midfielders in there. Especially Fernandez is a fantastic player, but he's better up the pitch, Sean, isn't he? Ugarte for me is a bit of a, he runs around like a headless chicken a lot of times, so when we've got our three in there already, possibly four, if Nico tucks in from full back position or Phil tucking in there, we're going to have 4v2 situations at times in the middle of the park, and they're going to have to drag one of their centre halves out, if not two, to try and do it.
Which then creates
the space
on the side, or for Erling Haaland. I mean, that's obviously with the benefit from a Manchester City point of view. Why does he choose to persist to play with this system? What does he think it gives his United team? Because that's the thing. Everyone's talking about they lose that midfielder, but then what's his reasoning for sticking with it? What does it do for them going forward, or what does he see is the benefit of it?
I honestly
more up front.
I honestly don't know the answer to that question, because you find with managers, if they've come with a certain way, and that way tactically is not working, normally managers tinker it or change it. If you go back to Pep's days, he's tinkered and changed every system he's played with to try and get the best out of the team, give the players the best opportunity to win a game, whereas I don't feel like Amaron does that. He's just like, this is my way, you're going to learn to play it or suffer. Now, I can see what he's doing in terms of the two number 10s tight in. That's him trying to overload that midfield area, but even then, you'll see today in today's game, and I watched him the other day when Cisco comes on, the way that even if they set up his counter-attack, Diallo seems too quick, so he gets to the edge of the box. Sesko's not there, so there's no one to cross it into. He kind of plays a bit like Berbatov. He's not like at Berbatov's level yet. He might get there, and for me, as a player, I hope he does get there. But at the time it is now, he needs more energy.
Yes.
I think he needs more energy and quality. But they have had the most shots this season so far in the Premier League. Hopefully that don't happen today.
No.
But they are attacking way better than they were last year. But they are leaving themselves vulnerable as well at the same time.
He's got a lot of unwanted records, Ruben Amorim, but there's probably one that he wouldn't mind, which is that he's got quite a good record against Pep. And, I'm not as a bad omen, but we know what happened here last season as well. Will that give not just obviously Amorim confidence, but this United team as well?
Yeah, I think it will. But the game last season was almost freakish. We're so comfortable at 1-0. And then obviously they got the penalty, got the equaliser, and at that point you're thinking, to take a point. But we actually played really well in this game.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't take our chances, but then for this to happen, because we were the better team by far. But I'll give them confidence knowing that they've been here before and they've won here before. But at the same time, they'll be very wary of how good we are.
Yeah.
I think that confidence could be a good thing, Paul, for us, in terms of for City, because then at least we know they're not just going to try and sit back, sit deep, and make it difficult for City. Hopefully they come out trying to play so City can then impose their game on them.
And also probably then conversely though, that's lingering in the City's team mind of what happened here last season and wanting to put that right a little bit.
100%. Well, you know what it's like, Sean. If a team in a local derby does you in the way that they've done us and beat us, I can't wait for that next one to come to put it right. Look, they're going to be dangerous today. You know, not so much with Sesko, but with Ahmad and Brian and Mbeumo. You know, really quick hitting in the break. Good players as well. Yeah. We all know how good Bruno can be, but he wants to play further up the pitch. So they will be. But I just look at our team and the quality that we've got in our team compared to the quality they've got in their team. But another thing is, I think it's really important we take our chances and we create them today.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know, the Tottenham game, I thought we were by far the better team leading up to the first goal. Possibly could have been 2 or 3 up. Same thing in Brighton the other week there, 2 weeks ago, was it? We were 1-0 up and chances to go 2 and chances to go 3. Before you know it, you're pegged back and you're under pressure again. So, but we'll always create chances. I think now it's about taking them.
I wanted to ask as well, obviously we know we've had a few new signings, so have United. I mean, Sesko you just touched upon there, Sean, we've not seen too much of. Brian Mbeumo, I mean, I always loved him at Brentford and I think that's a great bit of business. And of course as well, Cunha, who is not starting, but he, you know, another great player for Wolves last season as well. I just wondered what you made of their signings and can that help with them? Can that help Amorim do what he wants to do with that team? If they're all fit.
I'm not sure they can help him in that sense in terms of do what he wants to do with that team. But in terms of winning in games and doing that attacking creativity, like they can definitely do that.
Yes.
Cunha and Mbeumo, like you saw the game against Grimsby, they weren't in it at all. Mbeumo gets one run and just slides it in. That's what they have, and you've seen Cunha. He makes something out of nothing.
For sure.
They're both very magical players. So I think they will bring that X factor to that team, and it will be something that City will have to watch out for today because they can hurt you.
Yes.
Kel, I think they're really good signings, but I don't think it was. I think there's more important signings that they needed to make. Yeah. You know, I know they've got the goalkeeper in that they sign already, and but if you're going to pay that money for the goalkeeper, and that's the goalkeeper you've been after, so really put them straight in the team.
Yes.
So there can't be that much confidence there, and I think at the back especially, and I keep talking about the two in midfield, I think they were more important positions for United to strengthen in than the ones they've got up top. The players, Cunha, I think, is a wonderful player.
Same.
You know, he'd be a big miss for him. Thankfully for us, he's not playing today because he's a top player. Spoke about Mbeumo. Spoke about the pace they've got going on the counter-attack, but I think the problems are more at the other end than it is at the top end.
Which hopefully will play into Manchester City's favour, and there he is. Well, they're all big men, but the new big man, Donnarumma there, making his way out now to the pitch for the first time, of course, for him as he makes his full debut here at the Etihad Stadium. What a day, what a stage, what an occasion. Now, gentlemen, I think it would be remiss of us not to get into some of our favourite Derby Day moments. I think it's always nice to reflect and reminisce on, of course, some of the great memories that this fixture has brought us across the years. Sean, I'll begin with you. You played in 15. Do you want to know what your record was? 4 wins, 2 draws, 9 losses. Don't mind that.
That was against
the
great Manchester United.
That's decent, you know.
It's not too bad, that. Yeah. In that time as well, obviously knowing where United were at, of course, as well as you said.
Yeah, they were like a formidable team back then. I hate to say it, but sometimes you go into games and just know you're not going to touch the ball for 15 minutes. You're just running. And at the end of that, you could be 2-0 down. So you really had to scrap and fight. But yeah, my favourite would still be the 4-1 here, though.
Of course. That's what we saw the goal from earlier.
Yeah, not even because I scored, just because of the way that was a strong United team as well, but the way we dealt with the problems that came in front of us. And like Paul said, in this game, we're going to need to take our chances. That's basically what we had to do in that game. We had to take our chances. Paul,
your record, so you played in 3. No wins, sadly. Drew
Why is he laughing now?
No. Paul, drew 1, lost 2, but we have got a clip we can show from you, whacking in this unbelievable cross for a Steve Howe equaliser. Here he is.
There you go.
When was you on corners?
Mate, I was decent, you know.
By the way, we've got Paul's son, Max, who made a great signing as well over the chance of winning playing Tottenham, which is great news. But he's just shaking his head going, I can't believe my dad was on corners.
You'll be getting a clip of you after this, mate.
Some whip there, though, Paul.
Yeah, I had a bit, mate.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
But, you know, going back to what Shaun was saying, obviously, no wins in 3, but it was nothing to be shameful about, because they were unbelievable, that team. You know, that I always remember that day, because we drew 1-1, and we celebrated as if we'd won the league.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how
the levels were that big,
Yeah.
and the gap was that big from doing it then, and it was, gave away a penalty in that game as well.
Who you did?
Yeah.
Shock.
Paul Scholes missed it. Yeah.
Please ask him why he was all the way back there anyway. He's a striker.
Yeah, talk us through what happened, Paul.
I played left wing back that game.
Left wing back?
Joe put me left wing back. Yeah. I'm not being funny. At half time, they had to unspiral me out the ground. Had Beckham, had Neville, had Wes Brown, all running at me. I just kept turning round. I was going to take the
I just love the idea of you going, nah, we can't play football. We'll just have it up here.
Yeah. Joe said to me, "Do you think you can do it for me? See if you get the energy." And I went, "Yeah." After 5 minutes, I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on here?"
So good. Right, well, listen, as we know, this show is all for you guys. If you're watching on YouTube as well, please, if you want to get involved with what we're talking about, maybe you want to let me know your favourite Derby Day moment. Maybe you want to tell me about one of the favourite performances you've seen of Donnarumma in the past. Get involved on those YouTube comments. I can read them throughout the show. But we did also want to bring you this because some of our official supporters clubs have been getting involved in the show, bringing us some of their favourite Derby Day moments.
Yeah, thank you. As you can see, we are in the Manchester weather and we are with some supporters from Milan and from Singapore. OK, Marco, we'll start with you. Firstly, Derby Day in the city of Manchester. What is your favourite Derby Day moment?
6-1 at the Old Trafford, the best day, yeah. 6 goal at the Old Trafford was the best derby, yeah.
Look, Colin, you laughed straight away. Have you got any good Derby Day moments?
Yeah, my Derby Day moments are all on the losing side. Last time I went to Wembley, Man U in the Charity Shield. We were 2-0 up, I think half time, and then we lost 3-2.
Thanks so much to our official supporters clubs there, getting involved with our show. Always nice to reflect on those Derby Day moments. Now, speaking of huge Derby Day moments, I think it's going to be one for this man. Our new signing, Donnarumma, starts making his full debut in the Derby. So we wanted to talk about other players making their debut in the Derby. And FG is with someone who did just that, Mr. Owen Hargreaves.
Now on to Derby Day. You actually made your debut in a Manchester derby.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? And the build-up in the week, is that different when it's Derby week?
Yeah, it was a bit different. I remember somebody said to me on the coach on the way to the game, don't play like Patrice ever, because we didn't see him after for 6 months or something. Like joking, but still, you understand like the significance of the game, the intensity. But no, it's a privilege to play in the game, and lost 1-0. But again, this is what you come over to the Premier League for, games like this intensity. I mean, the pitch looks amazing, and I think obviously it's all to play for both teams. They started the season poorly, so both teams need a win.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for both teams, Jolie, and especially from Manchester City perspective, because it's unfamiliar surroundings. And normally in recent years have gone into the derby as favourites. They're under a little bit of pressure here today, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Pressure to prove themselves that they can compete for the title. Pressure for the derby win in isolation. But yeah, this start hasn't been great, and performances have been very inconsistent in game as well as the results. But yeah, if there's any other game that you want to build your confidence and get momentum started, then it's today against your rivals.
And the man who's making his debut in goal for Manchester City is Donnarumma. It's different on the United perspective. We already heard about that from the manager. How do you think he's going to be feeling?
Honestly, nobody else came in for him. At 26, what is it, 25 million? That could be the best signing of the season from anyone. I mean, the guy is just... He helped PSG win the Champions League. You think about some of the saves that he made. I know he's different than Edison. And shout out to Edison, by the way, one of the greatest, ball-playing goalkeeper, the best we've ever seen. So big shoes to fill, but I think Donnarumma, is going to be a huge addition to this team. Will help them significantly.
And touching on the team as well, we know how much of a massive fan you probably both are of Phil Foden. What do we predict for him? Because a derby's perfect for him. He's performed really well in derbies in the past, and he before his injury looked like he was getting a bit more back to himself.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. He would have had a good spell during international break to get to a level of fitness that he's able to start, and Pep's recognised that. So I'm sure if there's any player that wants to win this game, it's going to be Phil Foden, local lad, City fan. So huge moment for him, hopefully.
And quickly as well, let's touch on some memories then. I mean, of course, from both sides for you. I mean, what is your Derby Day memory that you can remember?
Oh, I mean, there's so many, and they're all such special games. And you know, that first game that I played in for Manchester United against Manchester City, think back to it wasn't this Manchester City, you know, the dominant force that they are. So the transition from United being the favourites to now City being the favourites, and that little window, you know, where I remember the first time I think Manchester City came to the Old Trafford and won in that way. And then I think that kind of changed the landscape of this fixture. So I think the history of it's special, means so much to everybody. But obviously the two teams have transitioned. Now City are the favourites and United are struggling, you know. So it's today's a huge day for both teams.
Yeah, it's a huge day indeed. And we have to end off by going to the studio, and we're going to continue talking about this. Masters winner, and also beat Manchester United last Friday in Masters football. Congratulations on that, and let's hope the players play as well as you. Owen, thank you so much for joining us as well. Let's head over back to the studio. Sean's day, we can talk to him about some more Masters football.
Do we want to mention it again, Sean? The goal, the Masters win. It's just all in a day's work for the boys in blue, isn't it?
No, I don't need to relive it. It's out there on social media, isn't it?
It's there for everyone to see. And you know what? If we have time, we might even show it you again. Now, we, of course, have got our keeper making his debut. United, that was a picture of their new signing who doesn't start. If anything does happen, though, he'll come on to make his debut. We were talking around this kind of conversation of players that have made their debut in a derby, which is huge to be doing that. Can you think of any other players, red or blue, that can you think of any off the top of your head? I mean, I've got them in front of me.
No, I actually honestly can't.
Okay, I can give you one that I remembered just because it wasn't the best debut. Claudio Bravo, speaking of goalkeepers. Yeah. Remember at Old Trafford? Struggled a little bit.
Still 1-0, 2-1, didn't we?
We did win 2-1.
It couldn't have been that bad then.
Yeah, but he was the one that he gave in the goal and gave away.
Ibra's feet, didn't he?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Leroy Sané as well made his debut.
Was he a good one?
That was that game, 1-2-1.
Yeah, but see, I don't...
Benjani.
Well, there we go, Benjani, nice. And perfect moment to play this. Thanks for setting us up here, Paul. It's almost as if you knew.
Yeah, that was Martin.
Do you know, it was brilliant as well. We had him on the show, and he spoke about basically... when he just obviously got to England, and I think it was something like it was a Britain's Got Talent or, you know, an X Factor. I think it was Britain's Got Talent, and the act that he saw did this to the crowd. So that's, he said, why when he scored, he just had that in his head from watching that.
What a guy.
He just got here. And to be fair, Naden could have nicked that if he wanted, but thankfully he let it be. But Benjani is a big one. In the Community Shield, I mean, he starts today. Nico O'Reilly and Savinho came on as a sub in the Community Shield on the 10th. Gael Clichy made his debut for Manchester City against Manchester United. And then there was a couple as well for Manchester United. I mean, some big ones. David De Gea, Ashley Young, Phil Jones and Tom Cleverley in a Community Shield game. A big one, though, was Erin Cantona, 6th of Jan 1992.
Wow.
That was, he made his debut in a Manchester derby. I mean, debuts, I guess, they're never easy, Paul, but made a little bit harder when you're having to step into a game like this. Will Donnarumma's experience, though, help him step into this game?
I think he's experienced it, but he'll be buzzing for it as well.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be excited. I mean, 10 years in top level as goalkeeper, God knows how many games he's played and how many derbies. You know, the Milan derby is not a small one either. You know what I mean?
It's very true.
So yeah, the experience he's got is doing it. I don't think he'll be flustered with it at all. I think he'll be thriving.
Fantastic stuff. Right, let's head back pitch side. FG is just keeping the guests coming on the show, which we love to see. He's down there with some TikTok creators. One's a blue, one's a red, so he's going to put them to a little quiz, and I think we all hope on this show it's the man who's a Manchester City fan that comes out on top. Let's find out.
Yeah, thank you very much. You can see that I'm pitch side and I'm surrounded by my fellow TikTokers, but this one is a little bit different. The Manchester Derby TikTok account, which I'm sure everybody has seen online. First of all, Ashley representing Manchester City and Miguel representing Manchester United, unfortunately. But this dynamic is incredible. So talk me through it. How did it all begin?
It started with pain when she told me she wants to become a City fan. It was absolutely heartbreaking.
Broke the news to him because the thing is that I didn't really grow up with sports. Like my parents weren't really into it and stuff. But when we started dating, it was like 10 years ago, like a full decade. Okay, he's all about football, so I was surrounded by it. And then when I started drawing my own opinions, I was like, who's that player? Wait a minute, Pep, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm not going down that route. Definitely not. So
she's clever. She waited till we were like official, and then she tells me, you know, had I known this before, I would have been out of here. Crazy.
So it's just the most insane thing. We had been doing content before, but it was nothing that I think we were passionate enough about. And then the football thing, I mean, we were having these conversations off camera anyway, so it was like, let's just put a camera there. And then I can't even believe we're here. So it's been insane.
Well, listen, welcome to the Etihad. Hopefully it's going to be a great day for you.
Yes.
I can't say the same for you, but it's also great to have you here. Listen, I want to ask you as well quickly. So you said that you've been doing content before together. What's been your favourite piece of content that you've done on your Manchester Derby TikTok?
Oh, that's a good question. So when we came a couple of years ago, it was the Real Madrid and it was the Man City game, and we were there by the blue carpet and the players came out, and the only words I could remember when I saw them was, oh my God. And I just screamed and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So that was probably the best, because when I look back at that, it's just like, it was such a moment and I was shocked. I'm not sure what yours favorite
For me, it
is.
has to be when United beat Liverpool in the FA Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Amadinho came with that last minute winner and I was like freaking out. It was heaven. Absolutely incredible.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we've slightly stitched you up here on Matchday Live. We're going to do a quiz, all right?
Quiz.
We're going to continue this rivalry between red and blue, and we're going to ask you some questions, okay? First person to answer correctly gets the point, okay? We're going to start straight away with question number 1. Sergio Aguero scored the injury time winner in 2012 in our first ever Premier League win. Funnily enough, it was United who finished second that time. But which player assisted Sergio Aguero for that goal?
Mario Balotelli.
And that is 1-0.
Do we put our hands up? I was trying to be polite.
But you were going to say Mario Balotelli anyway, right?
Of course I was.
Okay, this is another one. This is a Manchester United question for you, okay? Who was Manchester United's manager directly after Sir Alex Ferguson retired?
David Moyes.
He's good.
They've had so many managers that I just can't remember which one it is, you know what I mean? So.
I love it, right, okay. City won their first ever Champions League in 2023. Where was the game played?
Istanbul.
She looked at me straight away, she knew.
That was
2-1,
quick.
that was quick. That was very, very good, okay.
I'm not being polite, so.
In 2016, United won the FA Cup with a 2-1 extra time victory. Who scored the winning goal? It was against Crystal Palace.
Oh my goodness, how am I forgetting this?
Yeah, no, that's you.
Oh, Rashford.
Incorrect.
I'm so
Rashford's
sorry.
mate.
I'm so sorry.
Rashford's mate.
Lingard. Lingard.
Oh, no.
Jesse. My boy Jesse Lingard. How could I forget? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I went straight into the mic for that one.
He doesn't get the point, by the way, because he got it wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll share it anyway. Okay. Which player has won the most Premier League titles with Manchester City since 2012? It's a midfielder from Brazil.
Fernandinho.
It's correct, and you were about to say that as well.
You see, I panic under pressure. I panic and I just give you too many opportunities.
Here's a good one. Manchester United's last Premier League was in what season?
2020,
2012, 2013.
Oh, no, man. In my head, I saw the 2013.
I remember because I'm counting the days still today
You're
for
still
us to
going to
lift
be
the trophy
waiting.
again.
You're going to be waiting much longer.
And by the way, the noise behind us was for Donnarumma, who's just come out alongside James Trafford. Remember, he's making his Manchester City debut here today. Okay.
Right there.
Who scored Chelsea's only goal in the 2020-21 Champions League final defeat for Manchester
Kai
City?
Havertz.
That's a draw. You both got that.
See, I went down because I was like,
The
pain.
answers aren't there, you know that.
No,
eh?
no, I was feeling the pain again.
Yeah, I don't know why we asked that question. I'm quite sad about that as well. Okay. Who was Manchester United's top goal scorer during the 2016-17 Europa League winning campaign?
Goodness.
Interesting.
Europa
I don't pay
League
enough
campaign.
attention to your team.
Was it Rashford?
It wasn't Rashford, but I like the theme of always saying Rashford.
Rashford.
There are other players.
The answer was Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
How can you forget? Come on.
In the 2018-19 season, City achieved a domestic treble. Who did they beat in the FA Cup to beat it? It was a massive win.
Oh my God.
I
That's
can't
what I
even
mean
remember.
about under
I'm going to have to
pressure.
say pass on that one.
I'm also gonna have. I can't believe I'm saying pass on this one.
The answer was Watford. Okay,
Watford.
Listen. Finally, before we head back. Finally, before we head back to the studio, what's the score going to be today?
2-1 City.
2-1 Man United.
Well, listen, I hope you both have an amazing time. Keep up the great content online. I look forward to seeing your TikToks when Man City beat them. All right, let's head back to the studio. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, FG. Lovely to get that little quiz in there, and thank you to our TikTok guests there. We have got just over 31 minutes until we kick off with this Manchester derby. I'll just recap you the team news if you've just joined us. Thank you. Welcome along to Matchday Live. Shaun Wright-Phillips, Paul Dickov alongside me. You can see there at the bottom of your screen, brand new signing, Gigi Donnarumma starts in goal for his full debut here at the Etihad Stadium. Kusanov, Diaz, Gvardiol and Nico O'Reilly are your back four. Rodri holds alongside. In the studio, we think it's going to be Reinders and Phil Foden. Bernardo over on the right, or that could be Phil and Bernardo in the middle. Doku over on the left, and Erling Haaland completes that starting 11. There is your Manchester United team as well, warming up here at the Etihad Stadium. Bayinda, Yoro, De Ligt, Shaw, Mazraoui is your defence and goalkeeper. Ugarte and Fernandez in that too. And then we've got as well Dorgu and Mbuemo, Ahmad Diallo, and their striker Sesko completes their starting 11. It is building up here in the Etihad Stadium. Fans are very much filling up the stadium, as are our guests. So, sorry, gents, they're coming thick and fast here. We're going to head back pitch side because I believe you had breakfast with them this morning. Uwe Rosler is alongside FG. Let's get his thoughts on this huge Manchester derby.
There is a Manchester derby ahead, like I mentioned. It's an interesting one from a Manchester City perspective because the start of the season hasn't gone smoothly by any stretch of the imagination, and the same for Manchester United as well. Who do you think the onus is on to get a result here? Because from a City perspective, they really could do with the 3 points.
To be fair, I didn't expect that everything will go smoothly from the beginning. I mean, when you're bringing in so many new players and you're losing quality players who have been legends in his football club, did a fantastic job for us, being serial winners. To replace that immediately from one day to another, this is nearly impossible. We have to give the team and Pep time to implement the new way of play with the new players, and I'm just be excited to see them today live. I'm not have the opportunity so often to come and see live games, but today I can, and I'm just hoping that the new players will settle in and we play our way with our confidence and being smart and in the right moments kill the game off.
Let's hope so. So how do you see it going then in the early stages of this game? Because we're looking at the back four in particular. There's a lot of pace back in there as well, and we've got Phil Foden back in the team as well, which is super important. How do you see it going in the early stages of today?
I think we will have the ball. I think United also missing players. United will try to break us down on the counter-attacks. And we have shown lately, also last season, that at times we could be a little bit vulnerable on counter-attacks. So we need to be aware that when we lose the ball, we have a very good counter-press. And I think we need to score on opportunities we have and not only relying on Erling. Somebody else has to step up.
Spoken like a true manager. Now you've had a manager career so far. What's next for you, Uwe? Can we expect to see you back in the game soon?
I love football. Football is my life. I've been over 20 years now, head coach or manager. I have a little break now. I think you're getting older. Sometimes you need that little break in between jobs, but I'm actively searching for a new challenge.
Well, we cannot wait to see you succeed as well. And thank you for joining us on Matchday Live. And thank you for everything you've done for this football club. You are a true legend and you're welcome back.
I think
anytime.
I have to return the compliment because this football club has changed my life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is Uwe Rosler, pitside here. What a legend, what a guy.
Uwe Rosler, melting heart since day one. Beautiful to get him on the show, but also, I think FG always speaks as for the fans, but that's such a beautiful reply from Uwe as well to speak about the love and how much the club changed his life as well, Paul.
I didn't say that yesterday morning when we were having breakfast.
well.
No, he did. Look, he's a top guy, and he genuinely has a love for Man City, and he openly admits it. coming from East Germany at the time, which coming over here, and the love the City fans gave him, the performances he put in. But he's a top guy. He made me laugh. So I spoke to him about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was enjoying having his time off and saying I'm relaxing, don't want a job till next year. And yesterday he said I'm bored, I need to get back in as quick as I can.
Yeah.
But he loves football, and genuinely he's a true blue and loves the club as well.
That's it. We wish him all the luck. And a little fun fact for you: his son Colin Rosler plays with Erling Haaland for Norway. Has done
national team.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Now, I just wanted to pick up on. We'll kind of open up a conversation inspired by what was an incredible sporting achievement. If there are any tennis fans watching, a young Carlos Alcaraz winning the US Open and became world number 1 at the age of 22. I mean, 6 Grand Slams already for Alcaraz, which is an incredible achievement. John McEnroe said that he's the greatest 22-year-old tennis has ever seen, better than Federer, Djokovic, Nadal. And I kind of just wanted one to pass comment on what is an incredible sporting achievement. Shaun, I don't know if you're a tennis fan or if you did see the US Open.
I wouldn't say I'm a tennis fan, but I have watched Alcaraz.
Yeah.
And he makes me appreciate tennis, just the way he plays. He plays it so enthusiastic. Some of the shots he plays, especially his drop shots with that little bit of cheeky spin on it, where just nobody, no matter how fit you are or agile, seem to not be able to get to it. But from what I saw of him over the summer, I think he's unbelievable if he can keep that up.
And to do it at 22 years old, it just made me think of across other sports, and also obviously in this one, other similar people that have kind of led the way in doing it from such a young age. I mean, Tiger Woods obviously comes to mind, Michael Jordan, basketball. And I know slightly biased, but Phil Foden at 22 was not far off from completing football. I wonder if there's any others as well, really, that we can think.
At 22 or even younger, we've got to say, he's done a lot of interviews recently as Michael Owen.
Yeah.
But people forget how good he was at 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
He was outrageous. And then I know he's the other side and been a fantastic. It was Wayne Rooney.
Yeah. Yeah.
To achieve and to play and to at the top level at somebody so young consistently is outrageous, isn't it?
You have to put Mbappe in there then, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Would you put Mbappe in there, yeah?
I think winning the World Cup, most people, no matter how good you are, you don't win the World Cup single-handedly. There's only a few people that can do that.
To be fair, yeah, I was going to say he hasn't won the Champions League, but he's won the World Cup. Although then you'd actually, if you're on that argument though, Julian Alvarez.
Yeah.
But I think it was 22, or we was only, I think in fact he was 22 or 23 when when he won the World Cup and he won the treble.
Wasn't it only his first season when he went to Atletico that he hasn't won a domestic trophy since he left Argentina?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Wow. So you'd maybe put him in there.
And I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
No, he doesn't.
I think because with Argentina he's got Messi. When he was here, there was all the wonderful, there was the Bruynes and wonderful players around him. But what an achievement that is.
I mean, you could say we're a slightly City biased here, but we are definitely saying Julian Alvarez miles better than Carlos Alcaraz all day. Yeah. Better sportsman. One I wanted to ask about that I remember growing up always hearing a lot about, and I know sadly his career never played out the way that he would have wanted to, but Michael Johnson, as far as ability and raw ability growing up, I mean he was always one that was touted to.
Yeah, I'm a bit different. I'm more Stevie Island.
Really?
Yeah, I think Stevie Island had what Michael Johnson had, but then some.
Really?
Yeah, and I think he for his abilities and capabilities, he underachieved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton, I guess, as well, used another one you mean from a young age as well, and also kind of pioneered in the sport as well, didn't he? I mean, given what he did and for how he still is doing it, but in them early years was quite phenomenal. I think it gets forgotten, doesn't it? Sometimes age. We look at players and we hold them to the regard of like a 30, 35-year-old, and actually we forget.
It's like you look at me now, innit, Cal? I still look 22.
Do you know what I mean, Shaun? That's it. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I've got to say though, you didn't quite look 22 in this clip, Shaun. I think we can bring this one up here.
So I'm just wearing baggy clothes.
Not quite 22.
I'm wearing baggy clothes.
22 stone.
But can still do that at 22 stone.
Do you know what I mean?
There you go.
Also, do you know, and actually, it's nice to mention this because it was brilliant news for himself, but for Manchester City fans and for the academy. Rico Lewis, new 5-year contract. And I even do this sometimes. You know, you're thinking, you missed that tackle or whatever. 20 years old.
He's a baby.
He's 20 years. He's 2 years off 22 yet. And the year we won the treble was his first season in professional football, which scored at Wembley. I mean, he's got an England cap already. And, 20 years old, I think we forget, again, how young he actually is.
And that's where football's changed in so many ways, especially at this club. Because I remember coming through when I was young, and I was coming into the team and I had to worry about coming in front of Mark Kennedy and Trevor Sinclair and sometimes Huckabee if he played out there. But people always complaining why did we let Cole Palmer go? Cole Palmer's behind a peak prime Phil Foden at the age of 21, 22.
Yeah.
If he stays fit, the chances are he's going to be in that position for a very long time, unless he has a massive drop in form, which you don't really see with him. So for the younger kids coming through now, although that pathway is there, you have to be better than what's coming up. And that's what surprised me the most. They're all coming through and they all have different capabilities.
Yes.
They play in similar positions but play completely different. And to see Rico, what he's doing come through is just phenomenal. He just turned himself into an inverted midfielder, which not everybody can naturally do like that. But you can see he's got his football IQ is very high.
And that's his favourite position, he said as well. Hopefully in time will be centre midfield. Divine Castro as well on the bench, another one to keep an eye on this season and in the seasons to come. Final question on, when we're talking about, young people being legends already and what they do. Erling Haaland surely has to come into conversation, or does he have to do something with Norway?
No, I don't. I think no matter what Erling does outside of the football club, people always want to give him stick, but he just goes. I mean, he scored 5 goals and 2 assists the other night there. It's just outrageous.
Against Moldova.
And his goals to games record last 5 since he's been here, the last 5, 6, 7
Everywhere
seasons.
he's been.
Nobody's going to match that.
No.
And he's, what is he, 24?
Yeah.
It's outrageous. It's illegal, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, even I saw his stats in comparison to Ronaldo and Messi at his age, and they don't even come close, which is quite frightening. And what's great for us is he's committed the next 10 years of his career to Manchester City. And one man who we know has Manchester City in his blood. He's got a little smile on his face there. I don't know, Phil Foden. Can't forget that the two of them together, of course, both scored a hat-trick in that famous and brilliant derby day. This could be a moment where he just suddenly announces, I'm back, shuts up all the naysayers and says, I've got the smile on my face again, Shaun.
But I feel like there was, obviously, when we was at the Club World Cup, he didn't play as much as everybody would have loved to see him, but he was gradually getting back. But the appearance he made in those games and those moments that he had, that's kind of what I said to Jolien. I said, it looks like our boy is back. Just these little movements, even the goal he took from Cherky's pass, that finish that he's done, that is not from somebody with zero confidence.
For sure.
That's an excellent and a tough and hard finish, and he just dispatched it like it was every day. So I feel like it's not a confidence thing with him right now. I think it's more like Paul said earlier in the show. It's just him getting those games. And remembering not so much where the goal is, but 2 years ago I shot from here and I would score and just reliving everything again and just doing it like it's a deja vu. I think he's here and then we're going to see it.
I think it's a great game for him to come back into as well.
Yeah.
He's going to thrive out there today because there will be spaces for him to get in the ball and create stuff for him. And the fact that he said the disappointment of last season and being out so long for injury and stop-start, he'll be buzzing for today to get back out there and start.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we've not got long till we hand over to Alistair Mann, but we've still got a few more brilliant things to bring you, including this, which is not only, of course, we're celebrating Derby Day here at the Etihad Stadium, we are celebrating a man who has been so influential, arguably second to Pep in creating what has been this dynasty over the last 10 years at Manchester City. We are bidding farewell to our footballing director, Chicky Beggerstein, and there is a fantastic new film which I implore every Manchester City fan to go watch. It is a 3-way conversation between Pep, Cheeky and Ferran Soriano, of course, who go as far back as Barcelona, talking about Cheeky, his time here, the role that he has played, and also getting some brilliant insights into some of the big transfers and, of course, the people that he's brought in. Take a little look at this trailer. This is Farewell Cheeky, over on City Plus.
No t'ho creas ni tu que estaries 13 anys aquí.
13 anys?
I would love to know how many decisions have actually been taken in that room at TAS.
I jo li deia al Ferran, vale, Ferran, jo la transició del Pep al següent te la faré. I després tu renoves 200 més. I ja quan fas l'última li dic, Ferran, jo ja no puc més.
Hola.
¿Están los de City Studios ahí?
Que desde aquí domina él toda la ciudad, a los enemigos, a los jugadores.
He was kind of the first impression I got from Man City as a club. One of the best ever in his role.
He's a legend.
A part of me is living.
People don't remember, but he was actually a very good player.
All roads lead back to Johan Cruyff.
That guy changed our lives.
I told him, I'm going to Manchester City. I want you to come with me.
The challenge was we have to create an identity.
Pues son como dos piezas de puzzle que encajan perfectamente.
Football is for players and for the managers. We are helping.
Tu ets el director de futbol de més èxit de la història del futbol. Llavors, com el reemplacem?
Hugo, yeah.
Canvia la vida per un detall. Si no arribem a guanyar les eleccions, qui sap on estaria?
Estava fent tele.
Igual no haguessis estat entrenador.
No tens cap dubte. M'ha entrenador.
Sometimes, yeah, they see each other more than they see their actual families.
Las abejitas que nos vamos a llevar de Manchester.
Claro.
We have love here. Manchester is a city with character. Kevin, he didn't change too much, but me, I've changed a lot.
If you're going to go to the Oxford Dictionary and search for football director, and picture of Cheeky should be the image that appears.
Salut, Ximes. Salut. Algun dia pots venir a Manchester també, un cop.
Sí, vindré.
I think it comes easy speaking about Cheeky though, doesn't it? You never get tired of talking about good people.
Superb. Please go and get your eyes and ears around that. It is a farewell to Cheeky over on City Plus, and we're going to be bidding farewell to him here in the stadium today. And I'm delighted to say exclusively, and I might be a bit emotional, Cheeky's going to be joining us in the studio at half-time. So you don't really need a reason to come back, but that really is one to come join us. So at half-time, alongside me, Paul and Sean, we're going to be having the man himself, Cheeky, and we get to say a little thank you in person, which I can't wait for. Now, the Premier League Hall of Fame is adding 2 more players to that illustrious list, easy for me to say. Of course, we've already got the likes of Vincent Kompany, Sergio Aguero in there. Here are the ones that are shortlisted, some huge names. The 2 that obviously stand out to us all here at the club, David Silva and Yaya Toure, and I know I am biased. I mean, you could make an argument for Michael Owen, but other than that...
Is that it?
I mean...
You are so biased.
Les Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Robbie Fowler.
Sir Les.
Robbie Fowler, yeah, but it's David and Yaya.
Seth.
Sean, whose side are you on here?
I'm on the side of football and being real about a situation.
Right.
I think they should be on there.
Oh, no, sorry, let's get them off there.
Yeah, I don't even think Defoe should be on there yet. I wouldn't pick Defoe in this round. I'd pick him in the next round as well.
Have a day off.
Don't start me on that
Have
one.
a day off.
Gary won't like it, but that's different.
No, that's fair. I mean, there's some big... All right, Chess possibly, Robbie Fowler, I agree. I mean, Hazard as well.
It's for me, it's like there's some unbelievable... I think it's a weird criteria in terms of, like, they've mixed 2 generations together.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, which for me is wrong in terms of a vote, because Yaya and David, in that generation, they would get on their hands down without even a think.
Yes.
Well, we're voting against people in that time. Like you said, Michael Owen was probably the best thing England's seen at that age at that time.
Yeah, for sure. On that though, I mean, if we're just looking then at the say if they just put it across them 2 different generations, where did David and Yaya rank generally just amongst the Premier League?
I always go David.
Yeah.
For 2 or 3 seasons, Yaya was unplayable.
Yeah.
But I think the longevity,
David
over 10 years, and he was one of the first ones to come in and sort of say, look. Yeah, but I remember when we signed him, people saying it's too small.
Yeah. Me and John
can't play in this week. Did you?
Did you say that? Did you really?
When he came into training, me and John looked at him. I was like, oh, he's quite little, isn't he? John said, yeah, he's small, isn't it? Me over there. And then as soon as he touched the ball in training, and we saw no one could get him, me and just looked at him and said, yeah, we've got Merlin on our hands. That's how his nickname Merlin came from, the Wizard. It was me and John.
Was it you 2 that coined that? Really? No way I didn't know that.
Man.
I know this will sound like an obvious question, but when you say that you can't get near him, what does that actually mean? As in, like, does he pop up in places you don't expect him to? Is he that good with the ball? I mean, there was a great quote that you couldn't tackle him in a phone box, which I love.
His ball manipulation is like incredible, because a lot of people, like Paul tell you, when you're small, like if you look at some of the small players, they hold off defenders and they're like, he doesn't. He actually just chops and moves the ball. So when he's moving the ball, he's keeping it further away from the defender. So for the defender to get to it, he has to come through the man first. Like he's just phenomenal. He always found time to do exactly what he wanted wherever he was on the pitch.
Speaking of ball manipulation, Shaun, is this what you're talking about?
This is going to be today, isn't it? They're running.
Wright-Phillips.
I scored 2 other goals and got an assist.
Yeah, but this is against United. It's Derby Day. I mean, we're all obviously David fans here as well, but a word on great finish, Shaun. But Yaya Toure as well for 3 seasons was
unbelievable,
unplayable,
scary,
unplayable.
He was the best.
Yeah, he could
in that spell. I mean, look at this.
This is just a joke. When he first came, do you remember when he first came? Like when he first came in the team, because I used to watch him at Barcelona because I loved Barcelona back then. And he was more of the sitter.
Yeah.
More of the like CDM, didn't he? So then when he came there, we saw him charge up the middle of the pitch. By the time they went back to attack us and we got the ball to go, he was still on the way back. So it took him a little bit of time to get that fitness. But once he got that fitness, because he's too strong.
And also was so good technically.
He looked quicker with the ball.
He was rapid.
Also, Jolien, which always stands out to me, and if you watch the show, you'll have heard me say this before, but he was the player that if he wanted to win the game,
he could win it.
He'd win it.
Yeah,
any day of the week.
He could do nothing for 80 minutes, but in 10 minutes he could go and win the game.
Yeah. It was like a switch for him. It was just like, all right, now I'm going to try and win us the game. Like I've done the easy part.
And I do think about sometimes in them key games, quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals.
That plays you need. They're the ones you need.
Right, as you can see, it's almost, I mean, dare I say it, it's the perfect Manchester setting for a Manchester derby. Grey, cloudy, in and out of rain. It is set the perfect stage for this derby, and of course for that man there, Donnarumma, to make his debut as we welcome into the Etihad Stadium. He'll be playing alongside Kusanov, Ruben Diaz, Gvardiol, Nico O'Reilly, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, our captain, Reinders, Phil Foden, Doku and Erling Haaland. Paul, getting some final thoughts. You've said midfield is going to be key. With the way United play, it could very much lean into our hands, but we have to be aware of their speed on the counter.
Yeah, we do. You've got to show them respect to the players they've got up front, especially Brian Mbeumo and Diallo, with their pace that they've got. But I think it sounds really, really simple and obvious. We are going to create chances today, and it's just how many we're taking it and keeping the door closed at the back.
Shaun, I mean, just on that, can we keep the door closed at the back? Does the likes of having Donnarumma in the net suddenly make that a lot more possible?
Well, it makes it just as possible as if James was in the net. I feel like keepers can make errors. That happens. We've been through a stage last season where we made a lot of defensive errors. We seem to have snuffed that out. So, but you still got to respect the other team. No matter whether you're home or away, the other team will have a chance. That's just football in general. But it's like Paul said, we just got to take our chances. For me, I think Doku's going to be quite key today, as well as Phil Foden. I think that they're going to be our game changers. Obviously, you've got Haaland up there, but I think those two will cause a lot of problem. And my man Tajani, I had to give him a shout out.
Yes, of course. We just saw a little clip there of Cheeky on the screen alongside new footballing director Viana. Cheeky will be joining us very much in the studio at half-time, so please do come and join us. We are very close to welcoming the boys out onto the pitch. That's where I'll be handing over our commentary to Mr. Alistair Mann. Could I get some predictions from you, please, gents? And there he is, the big man. Wow.
Well, you know me, I'm never nervous, but I was actually nervous today. But I've seen my man Phil Foden in the team.
And I brought you round. We brought you round. We brought him round, Paul. Come on.
Got me back. So 2-1 Man City.
2-1 Man City. For you, Paul?
He said 3-1, didn't he?
I've been confident all week. I went big at the start of the show, didn't I?
Yeah. Double down on it.
I'm going 3 or 4-1. 3-1 City.
Okay, lovely there from Madrid. Also, a beautiful clip there. Ferran there with Khaldoon as well, and Cheeky, 3 people that, of course, have been key to building the platform of success for Pep and the Manchester City squad over the years. Before we do hand over to Alistair Mann, just seeing Donnarumma already embraced it feels like he's already a part of the team already, Sean. I know that's quite an obvious thing to say, but already instilling that confidence and belief.
Yeah, I wouldn't say obvious because some people take longer, but he's obviously, from what I've heard of the players at training, make you feel welcome. And I think from the start, as he's walked through that door, he's clearly embraced that, and he's building bonds and relationships, and that's what football's about. You have to have belief, and you've got to create that chemistry on the pitch, and there's no better way to start for him.
Absolutely stuff. Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Sean. And that is what football is about. But sometimes things are bigger than football. And today we lost an absolute legend of boxing and a legend amongst Manchester City fans. We're going to hand